I don't. You see, one of the things I think about you sometimes when I'm at home with my wife is I wonder why you're not married. You know, most of my friends are not married. Like it's as if there's.
And you're regretting.
No, I'm not regretting.
You're regretting your decision to rush.
I'm not regretting. Sometimes I'm at a competition. I'm like, who's married here? Nobody. So it's as if in this century people are just together, and they are not married. I don't know why. Like you, why aren't you married? Do you think marriage does not work in this century?
But you lunges love marriage. All my lunge pals, even the ones who are not married, live with their chicks. Check it, me wishing a mama. Yeah, I've been chilling with my chick. Babe. I find it quite strange.
Yeah, you just love dating.
I don't know why they're all dating seriously.
You don't have dated, you guys.
I used to tell you, you've been dating perennially. Check it, okay, so we've just finished that relationship, Jana, but this is my chick. Check it. Hi.
It's interesting.
It's shocking.
I've never stayed solo for
Yeah. So I think that answers you.
But I thought it was my problem until I discovered my brother also loves dating.
Lunges have that.
What do you mean, man?
You guys are always dating.
Maybe it's a lunge thing, but it's interesting.
I don't think marriage is. I think marriage for me is a very serious thing. Some of my friends say I take it too seriously for life, but I think it's a very serious thing. I think one needs to be whole, which is a long other conversation.
What do you? Tell us.
I feel like somebody needs to be whole, complete individual before they can meet yet another whole, complete individual to make a wholesome marriage.
No, sometimes you get whole together.
No.
Like one of my points when I was.
I don't think you should hook up with somebody so they complete you, which is a precursor for problem. Is that why you hooked up?
You guys, sometimes you'll make me lose. I'm saying sometimes you become whole while together. All right.
But
like
that's
the way I'm relating right now with my wife is not the way we were relating when I met her back in the day. All right. So I've become. I'm discovering myself. I'm becoming more whole.
Granted, marriage works when you work it, but it's better to meet a complete whole individual. By whole, I mean the following. I think you're misconstruing my point. I don't mean that you have full meals.
You want a fully designed
no.
To fly from heaven.
No. I understand that marriage is a clash of cultures and norms and customs and beliefs, right? But you need to be enough of it. I just saw a very sad story before coming on set that a guy, his wife was had kata mbogas and was giving it to a neighbor. Rather, was attempting to go take it to a neighbor. And this guy was so furious, he beat off this woman's lip and the ear.
Yeah, I saw that scary story.
And it was really sad. I think that guy has issues. So what I'm trying to say about wholeness is this: understanding who you are in yourself. You know these conversations people have about like mwanamke lazima afanye hivi. I think those things emanate from lack of self-knowledge and self-worth. If you know yourself well enough, the other person doesn't quite complete you. You just complete each other. Yeah. I think it's very important.
And I think now that you mentioned, one of the things that show, like you have to be cognizant of the fact that marriage right now is not the way guys who are married, the way our parents' marriages were.
Of course.
Like me, my dad, I remember when he'd wake up like this, there was hot water waiting for him in the bathroom.
Yes.
And then, and that's in the morning. When he enters the house like this, he just would sit
and clear his throat.
Grant kidogo. And then food, hot food, would be there. Plus water for washing his hands. Check it.
Then he's just liming.
Then he says, wake a news. Then you put the news. That was like, right now my marriage is not like.
Because there's instant shower for crying out loud.
No, it's not even about it. Like now my instant shower is not working. Like honestly, it's not working because I leave my desk.
So you wake up to boil water for your wife.
I boil the water and then I pour it up in the,
for your wife to shower.
Then my wife has to be, have you poured the water? Then she comes and also showers. So
does she boil water for you?
No, most times I'm the one who boils.
She doesn't like boiling water?
No, it just happens. Like it just happens like that.
Right.
So if I was like you, the way you're kunjang your eyes, I'd be angry because...
No, and that's the beat of completeness that I'm talking about. You see, a general majority of men who are watching would frown at you boiling water for your wife. Yes. And it does not reduce the length of your penis. Yes, I'm sure it's never affected you in any way. So that's the beat of completeness I'm talking about. You need to have enough of yourself to know that, say, kata in nyanya as your wife is boiling rice will not make your voice start sounding like an alto. Check your mekata vitungu. Umeponda limau. You will not change.
There's a friend of mine who almost divorced. They were courting at the time,
Yes.
and they were living together. He almost chewed at that chick because of not cooking.
Yeah. This
No,
cooking.
let's not pick it. Let's not pick it. He talked like, let's not pick it. So maybe, but you see, that's because of the culture that he's come from.
Absolutely.
He grew up in Shags, all right, where he saw his mother picking for his wife every day.
Yeah.
So for him, it's foreign that this lady is in my house and she's not cooking.
My mother, God bless her heart, she went to be with the Lord. My mother was a serious feminist, even before the word was announced to me or even coined. My mother would announce very early on Saturday morning that the only difference between me, Bonita, and Irene, who are my siblings, was our genitalia. That was it. And our genitalia was not needed because we were not married, because we'll use it later in life. So in her house, we were all equal.
Oh, there was no woman.
So she used to lump up,
no
because I'm the
man or
firstborn, she used to lump everything. I mean, you'd find me kneading dough. And she'd get really upset if the chapati wasn't round. In her mind, she said, you need to be self-sufficient. In other homes, I know of a distant relative who would never have the boys go to the kitchen. Like it was demeaning. And that's what he's trained the kids. And I think the other thing we want to inculcate in this generation, if you have sons and you're young, our age, and you're watching, train the kid to cook. It is not demeaning. It doesn't take away anything from the boy. You've come to my house severally and you keep asking me, so you mopped this floor? I do it myself. I kneel, mop, and wipe, and my sink is
wipe the walls.
Yes, I scrub the walls. Because I was trained like that. So I think, so we don't divert too much. When you are whole about, one, your sexuality, about who you are and whose you are. In fact, I was having this conversation with a lady friend of mine, and I was telling her, most men lack an idea of who they are. Because I'm a highly spiritual person, as you know. God's intention for a man was that man, the reason he was created is to become the foundation. He was first.
Like a man.
Yes, he's male. Male is first, so that the woman comes on top of the foundation. In any city council building in the world, if the walls are cracked, they don't shut the building down. If the foundation is cracked, they evict people because it's a sign of danger. But a lot of us have been socialized to believe that we are better than women, because we are masculine and stronger.
So we are trying to guide them.
And so that they are subservient. Yeah. But that is really not the case. I think, and it informs a lot of our decisions, even how we treat women. I think the conversation we need to have more as men is we are equal. That a woman is a woman does not take away anything from her, and you being a man does not add anything from you. Our sexes just play different roles.
Yeah, it's tough because this society pushes you to behave in a certain way. Like for me, I have to consciously tell myself to behave differently. Yes. I remember sometimes I'd answer my wife rudely.
Yes.
Like no, those ones of what's the time? Like you can't check the clock. Like you have to work continuously on yourself so that you can treat her better. Sometimes there's a time where I actually discover that maybe she behaves differently around me because she's scared of me. She's scared of my reactions. Yeah. So you stop being friends
and then you start blurting out commands like a soldier.
Yeah, you start now raising her as if she's a kid.
No, I really thank God for my upbringing. I think I don't take it for granted that my mother was very intentional about how she brought us up. Like my sister, I've never looked at my sister any less, truly, or any other woman any less. Later on in my life, when, say, I went to work abroad, most of my bosses have been women, and we had the best, fantastic work relationship. Because I had that in my upbringing, that whatever a man or a woman can do, either of them can do, So I think we need to get to that point, not to take away from our roles. Like women generally, women generally are very tender and they nurture. That's why they have hips and breasts. Men have big frames to protect, not now to start thumping the woman, but because we are misguided, we reverse the roles and we start, belittling or putting down women.
I think you just have to be wise, because even when you're, like I said this earlier, when you're married, one of the ways to make sure you're married, to guarantee your marriage would work, would be to realize that this person is not the same. Like you're always evolving.
Yes.
Like you're not the same. You see, right nowadays we don't do the things we used to do when we used to.
Of course, yes.
Nowadays I like going for a quiet time on a Friday. Then I go home.
Yes.
So you can't be the same guy, and you can't think even the wife is the same woman continuously. She has even struggles. Struggles change. Like women go through changes in their body, can change their mood.
So do men. Pot belly, receding hair.
Yes, yeah.
But the thing for me again that I think it's very important that is rarely talked about is self-improvement. I think we need to self-evaluate. You need to sit down with yourself and appraise yourself. How am I doing within myself? Which is really lacking. So that most of us look at ourselves from the prism of the people we're in a relationship with. Sumekula, sumelala, you know. But we are very poor about self-analysis. We don't analyze ourselves. So if you went back, you would realize that you're not good for marriage. In fact, again, there's a scripture that says that a particular man shouldn't be alone. Not all men. It's not all men. There's just a particular set of guy who needn't be alone. Like women, I've come to learn from numerous associations from upbringing. In my family, at one given time, we had 7 women in the house. Me and my uncle were the only 2 guys. 7 women. So I learned, and it's still true today, if I'm wrong, chicks, you can write opportunity. Women need love. They need openness and honesty. They need to be taken care of, you know, provision. And provision is not that you earn more money than them. It's just that there's a need you meet. Like if you are a Juakali guy and you know she likes her hair done, it would do you wise to just say, you know, I left your 1,500 for hair. Women need that.
Or they need that.
They need it. And then they need to be loved. A woman needs to be told she's loved. Well, that's a whole other conversation about their love languages. They're very different. Some want to be told verbally, I love you. Then others want flowers. Others want dinner dates and so on and so forth. Men, on the other hand, are not so complex. 2 things. Men need food, most of them, and then they need sex. They need it. Chicks, men need sex. They don't need...
To quote that verse you're quoting, it also says if you can't stay without sex, you should marry.
But what do you mean? Are you addressing?
No.
I can stay without sex.
No, I'm not addressing.
But you look at the camera. You're looking funny. Like I'm doing some monkey business.
No, I'm just saying.
So the thing I'm saying, and I think these are very serious conversations that a lot of us men need to have. First of all, you need to understand, can I provide the 4 things? Okay? Maybe the reason I'm not married, this is a long shot to answer you, is I've scrutinized the 4 things I saw my aunties, moms, and relatives so desperately needing. Can you provide, can you be open and honest about everything? If the answer is no, you needn't consider marriage. Because women need that. That's like taking... No, it's true.
Are you marrying a human being?
Yes. Because that's like saying, you're driving a car, it needs gasoline, but you like mango juice, and you're going to put mango juice in your car. No, for real. If you are a dishonest person who is a liar, there's no point of you getting married. Women need you to be... This is the example I'm giving. If I'm married to my wife, or you the way you're married to your wife, do you think your wife would ever at any given point come to understand that you have a business she doesn't know about that you attend to chini ya maji?
Yeah, she'd be hurt when she's fine.
She can even leave you.
No.
She would.
Discover, but they don't leave.
No, yeah, but you shouldn't encourage it.
Yeah.
So there's no woman on planet Earth who will live with this dishonest and not so open person. Or if there's a woman outside of your marriage who knows things too deep about you that your wife doesn't know, your wife is not going to appreciate that. Cheki hapo nilikatwa, hujaiambiwa na Alice. Alice anajua hii mark. You know, that's strange. So that's what I'm trying to say. In terms of need provision, women need provision. My sister was telling me the other day, and we were laughing about it, the way she went to a meeting, and this girl was like, so leo unanunua lunch. They're not wired like that. Women are not wired to start taking care of you. It's strange. It's not in their DNA to start, okay, nimelipa nyumba, nikanunua gas, alafu nyanya vitunguu nimelipa, kila kitu. Maid pia nimelipa, umerudi kulala.
Alafu nimekutumia pesa yetu.
Yes, it's not in their DNA to do that. So a decent man needs to look at those 4 things. Yeah. And a woman needs to look at those 2 things mainly. The other thing men need, which overrides the other 2, is respect. Respect is to men what love is to women. If you cannot respect a man, I hear chicks friends of mine tell him, Respect ni nini? Taka ni utanichemsha. You are not ready for marriage because it's the same thing. You are agreeing. That's if respect is important to you. That is our love, provision, and those are the things I mentioned are important. So maybe I've scrutinized my list and I'm just like, maybe now I don't feel like I can be able to love wholly the way I'm required to.
But one thing, as the producer saying, we finish. You need amnesia. I had someone else just say,
yes.
You need to have amnesia for marriage to work.
Yeah.
Like you, Kosana yesterday, she stabs you maybe, but
you forget.
You forget.
Also, marriage is not compulsory. You need to say that, you know. And you like calling me randomly and telling me, Alini. It's not compulsory. Solitude, gentlemen who are watching, it's also an option.
No, but you're an extreme solitude guy.
But what is
wrong? You
wrong?
love being alone too much.
No, it's fine.
No, it's not fine.
What do you mean?
You're an extremist.
No, it's fine. Solitude is an option that everybody can take. If I don't want to not remember you stabbed me, Jana, I'm better off being alone. You can't stab me and I forget, Mazi.
That was a joke. But also another thing, if you're married to a psycho who will kill you, just leave also. Ama? Like there's that option.
No, I love
I'm
myself
saying
too
generally.
Yes, I understand.
If you're married to someone who will kill you, like I think you should.
I've told you time without number that one of my biggest things is camaraderie, mutual understanding, friendship, and respect. Anytime that is not, I think out of I've dated properly about 3 women, and we get along fine with most of them, you know. But there's one particular woman I don't talk to because she was a deliciously rude person, naturally. So that is something I cannot excuse. It's not in me to excuse that. So yeah.
All right. But you can marry Tabs' friend.